Fingers crossed, it's going to be a really, really good new year in 2021. I'm Dadhichi from astrology.com.au. Thanks to all of you who have followed me over the past few years. To those of you that are new, welcome. I'm going to spend about 10 minutes here just talking about what I consider some of the really critical and important outer planetary movements for 2021. I've done a 3,000 word essay for you at astrology.com.au, which will help you fill in a lot of the gaps there. But take a look at this. You'll see at the outset of the year, Mars and Uranus hovering on either side of this point of Taurus. Early in the picture, you're going to find Mars moving into this sun sign of yours. It's going to make contact with Uranus, and this gives you explosive energy to start the year. You've also got the triangular aspects of these three planets, Pluto, Mercury, and the Sun, here creating a nice aspect to the sun sign of Taurus for you. So that also invigorates you and gives you the energy, drive, and confidence moving into this next 12 months. The big news last year, if you recall, were these two planets, what they call the Great Conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. Saturn is a friendly planet to you. It does rule your 9th house and 10th house somewhat. Jupiter is not so friendly, but this conjunction really does determine and set the trend for what's going to be happening in the next 12 months for you. It is all work. It is all focused on the gain that you can make from your work, expanding there. But you've got to understand that there's a principle here, and if you listen to my introduction, you'd know that this is going to be a real tug of war. Should you expand in this next 12 months into a certain area of your work, or are you going to use that cautious sort of reticence of Saturn to pull back and pace yourself? It's going to be a difficult one because you'll notice these two planets are also in the right angle to this Mars and Uranus here. So you're sort of between a rock and a hard place, Taurus. You really want to move forward. You're like the horse, ready to bolt out of the gate, but something's still holding you back. Now, I think if it's been some sort of self-esteem issue, the Mars transit is going to really help rectify that. On January 18, we see the square from Saturn to Uranus. That's going to highlight what I'm saying here about this conflict between progress and conservatism, holding back or breaking free. These are the two principles. Uranus is that breaking free, that movement of independence, and because it's in your sun sign and you've been experiencing this for quite a while now, it's also retrograde, so it's empowered. You're really going to want to break free. Could be that some of these work commitments and other responsibilities that you have, such as your relationships, because Saturn also has a square aspect to Scorpio here, which is the sort of long-term relationships that you have. And that can show that you're held back by all of these old belief systems. Belief systems are shown by this 9th house. Pluto there is going to continue doing its thing, and especially in the early part of the year, some transformations may take place there. New learning approaches, new courses, probably a whole new change in direction for a lot of you, because that 9th house shows what you believe in and what you can do to change that. If you're able to manage these diametrically opposed energies, you're going to really find yourself in a much better position to create the life that you want in 2021. Saturn makes the square aspect of Uranus after Jupiter. Jupiter on January 18th, then Saturn on February 18th. Then we see very quickly, look at this, Jupiter up until May moves through the whole sign of Aquarius very quickly into your 11th house. So that's good news, because Jupiter in the 11th, in fact all of the planets in the 11th house, provide you an opportunity for gain. And we have to look at where that gain is from. Now, Jupiter rules your 8th house of annuities, savings, investments, that type of thing. So it's quite likely, through the mechanism of what you've saved before, there could be an opportunity to earn additional interest, better income from your investments. That's also shown by Mercury. And Mercury is up here. It'll take a couple of months after about March, April, just before Jupiter moves into here, That's going to be the wheeling and dealing end of the transit. Then Jupiter will come in and provide you that good fortune. Jupiter is going to be retrogressing and moving forward throughout the 12 months up until December 29, when it actually moves back into this sign of Pisces. Let me have a look here. Jupiter is retrograde. It moves back out of that 10th house back into Pisces. So there's a bit of revision going on here in your work, in how you're earning your money, what you would like to do to improve your financial status. I'm just trying to get the temperature right here. So this is one of the important transits for you throughout 2021. And then we see a couple of other important things. 26th of May, 3 days after that transit, a powerful eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius. Hello, that's the area we've just talked about, the 8th house. Now that also, apart from regulating your money, Taurus, has a lot to say about your level of intimacy, because the 8th house is your sexuality. Notice here Venus and the past karma point, the south node, transiting this area as the year begins. You're going to have this lunar eclipse taking place here on the 26th of May, smack bang in the early part of Sagittarius here. And that's going to activate, especially on the emotional side of things, and it's going to really bring to the fore the inadequacies of your relationship. Because the 8th house is the hidden part of the horoscope. It's the psychological complexes that you bring to all the relationships. That intimacy and the non-intimacy, how to bring that relationship closer and tighter together. So that eclipse is going to really trigger a lot of insights, I think, into your relationships in the mid part of the year. The Saturn square Uranus again takes place, because while these planets are moving forward, then retrograde, they're going to do the same little aspect over and over until you finally get the message of that. So you've got to find ways to relieve your tension, especially in the matters of work and finance, but it's principally work, because these two planets dominate your 9th house and 10th house. Belief systems and work. You are limited only by those belief systems. So I think that is one of the main lessons for you with these transits. There is also a significant lunar eclipse taking place in your sun sign on November 19. That's later in the year. That eclipse is going to have a marked impact on your self-talk, your self-awareness. And because the sun sign has a lot to do with your willpower and drive and how you present yourself to the world around you, Taurus, this is distinctly a transit, an eclipse that is going to open you up to what I call the signs of human possibilities. 2020 is going to be a defining, 2021, I'm still not stuck on last year. 2021 is going to be a defining period for you, in that it opens you up intellectually and mentally. Why do I say that? Because the moon is ruling this 3rd house of your horoscope. The 3rd house has to do with your mentality. It's got to do with the way you think. And just a moment ago I mentioned the belief systems, the self-limiting belief systems. And this eclipse, and along with some of the other transits which we saw there at the outset of the year, that Mercury-Sun combination with transformative Pluto, show that you are willing and ready and able now to shift your thinking. And that starts with the mechanism of thought. What is it that you're thinking about? How is it that you think? Have you been able to observe this process of thinking, and often how unconscious it is, because that's where most of your energy is flowing. The mental energy flows to certain things. If it's unconscious, you're not able to make that happen. And it's important for you to make things happen this year, as shown by this conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in the upper part of your horoscope. The 10th house, or this upper part of the horoscope, is your self-esteem. It's what defines you, or rather how you define yourself. It is really what the Vedic astrologers call Karma Sthana, Karma house. Karma means one's actions or what one is destined to do. So that is all resting upon this exquisite eclipse that takes place on the 19th of November. Now there's one more eclipse taking place, as I said earlier, in this 9th house on the 4th of December. And that is really the final principal celestial event that is going to help you unleash some of these powers within yourself. And this also means seeking out the right sort of people who can help you, because the 9th house is your gurus, your mentors, your teachers. And at the end of the day, really, the highest teacher is yourself and your own experience, which is why for you, this reading, I think, as succinct as it is really about breaking free of these chains of the self-limiting beliefs in 2021. I want to talk to you more about that. As I said at the outset, I've written 3,000 words on this. It's going to cover your overall pattern, which is what I've just done here, of 2021, your love, your romance, family matters. Then I'm going to get into your finance, your career, your income, those opportunities on the material level, and finally your karma, your luck, and your spirituality. I hope you'll take a look at that at astrology.com.au. Subscribe here now. Click on those links. If you need me for anything, I'm here. Just drop me a line. I always love hearing from you. I know there are a lot of you there that very gracious, take the time to drop me a note, and I do appreciate that. It's nice to know that what I'm saying is not falling on too many deaf ears. Look, I'll see you next month. We're going to pick up the month by month after that. I hope this has given you a little bit of a primer as to what's coming. Big year for you, Taurus. I'm excited for you. I think this is going to be a great new opening. You're going to make some big breakthroughs. See you next month. Bye-bye now.